afternoon to you. Welcome to Game Plan on 99.7 Joy FM, hits 103.9 FM. My name is Fento, Tahiru Fento. We are on from now till 3 p.m. Putting on rival perspective on some of the biggest talking points from the world of sports. And the stories have been big this week. This morning, news just broke that the Ministry of Sports and Recreation has found $900,000 to pay Black Stars coaching staff salary arrears dating back to 2020. 11 people overall have been paid, including the current staff who have not been paid from October up until now. They've managed to pay them to up until the end of March. Probably still owe them the April salary and the May salary. But more importantly, they've paid the likes of CK Akono, David Duncan, Masoud Didi Dramane, George Boateng. All of these people have received their monies. The Black Stars were in action on Wednesday night against Nigeria in a friendly game. The Unity Cup semi-final matches. They lost that game by 2-1. But what lessons have we picked up from that particular defeat? In action again on Saturday, but we saw some positive performances from some players, which of them are in pole position to return for the September qualifiers. Who are the big winners and big losers from that particular game? So we'll go through that performance and what lessons we picked up from there. On Saturday, rep your jersey. The UEFA Champions League final is here. Inter Milan against Paris Saint-Germain. We are at the Viasin Social Centre. We'll preview the final as well. But even before that, one European trophy was won midweek. That came from Chelsea Football Club. They came from a goal down to beat Real Betis by 4-1. But there are a certain group of fans who are saying that Chelsea should not celebrate the victory because it's a Mickey Mouse trophy. So that's another conversation we'll get into. But let me hear from you, from Black Stars fans. Your thoughts on the performance of a team against Nigeria. Yes, they lost by 2-1. But are there some things that you picked up from the performance? What lessons did you pick from that particular game? The Chelsea fans as well, or the ASU fans. Should Chelsea not gloat about the history that they've made? Becoming the first and only football club in the history of world football to win all of UEFA's 5 major club competitions. Somebody says it's not a record to be proud of because Real Madrid will never have this record simply because they will never find themselves in some of those other competitions. Another person says it's not Chelsea's fault. They found themselves in there and they won. They have to celebrate. Others found themselves there last week and got embarrassed. And that's not Chelsea's fault, right? So, anyway, so let me hear from you as well on that. And then your predictions on the Champions League final. Your thoughts, where will that game be won? Where will it be lost? Game Plan on 99.7 Joy FM is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams, Betway, Getway, more. We are also streaming live on 103.9 Hits FM and on our social media pages, X Spaces and Facebook, as well as on YouTube on the Joy FM handle. My name is Fento Tahiru Fento. The guys are in studio. Sichofer Philip Achurim. Daniel Cranting is here. And Muftar Nabila Abdullahi. Dear Lord. What was that? What was that?
Everyone has got a signature.
And yours says... The guy is hungry. Woman, Johnny. Achu, Victor Achutamaklo. By the way, Victor,
I'm indeed hungry. Fatio, what you just said is true. I'm indeed hungry.
He's going to eat.
So I'm going to eat. As we come and say that.
Please go. Bye-bye. Achu, Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
It be today.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I get some stories.
Oh, happy birthday. Another May one.
He shares his birthday
With my father.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, for real? For birthday?
Yes.
Mr. Clancy.
Yeah.
Not you, Mr. Clancy.
Yeah,
Original.
Mr.
The original Mr.
The Don Dada himself.
Hey.
Happy birthday to him.
No, May Bonds.
Something there inside.
Oh no, May Bonds there. Happy if you see me, you see the example. Like you don't have to look far. You don't have to look far. Sit here.
No, there's something
Mr. Clancy.
there's something that happens in the month of May.
No, 9 months before me. We have to investigate because you know.
Even when we were at City.
Yeah, more
No,
people.
you know,
The
from May
sheer
1
number of people
from
who,
May 1 to May 31, I know for every single day,
Yes,
I know somebody celebrating his or her birthday.
it's crazy.
Like for
How
every
many
single-
people I know who were born in May?
Yeah.
Many.
Wait. 9 months before
It's,
me as well.
9 or 10 months
summertime.
before.
You know my house.
It's September.
You know my house. We are six kids to my parents, right? Few of us are in May.
You're kidding.
No. Charles is in May. Robert is in May. I'm in May.
That's
Something
ridiculous.
happens.
So check out old boy and the fancy 9 months before me. Hard.
Quick.
The month of September,
Yeah.
action month.
Yeah.
My son was born in May.
Quick. No, seriously, May bonds. So actually, April coming into May, ending of April coming into May, which
Yeah.
Ending
Is
of
there,
April
is there,
coming
is there
into
someone listening that might have an explanation for
Charlie,
us?
drop it.
Clancy's father was born in May. Achutamaklo was born in May. Today is Brian Cambody's birthday too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I say, hey.
happy birthday to you, bro.
Today is Alexis Lawrence's birthday.
Yeah. Charlie. No,
Charlie were plenty.
Maybe hard.
Something the inside.
Yeah, maybe hard.
Too. All right, happy birthday, Achu.
Thank
How
you,
have you
thank
been celebrating?
Oh, I can tell you.
Shoot.
Is it your birthday?
See,
How has it been? Achu,
It's just a regular day.
right.
Yeah.
there's a
I
reason why
think-
it's a regular day.
It's just the last 2 hours that has not been work. That have been somewhere else. But apart from that,
Where have you been?
I had to go and do something. But I told you.
Okay, watch
No,
it. Watch
no,
the
wait,
smile on his
wait.
face.
This question is mischievous. When I was leaving, I told you.
I don't remember.
Heavens.
It's nothing memorable.
Mubarak was in the office.
Yes, he might remember.
No, you asked me, and I told you.
The point
And you
is-
asked for the name of the person.
He
Then I said I will tell
you
you.
want to meet somebody.
Yes, I told him.
Oh, nice.
I didn't hide.
You
Friend,
and I
you-
had that
You
conversation.
asked for the name of the person, then I said after. So Danny, tell your story why? Because he's in on the act. So
Daniki,
Chaiba, Achu is suffering. No,
what do you mean?
I'm telling you. Achu needs love.
Okay, I love him.
No. Not
You
not
we
your,
all love him.
not your kind of love.
What kind of
Not the brotherly kind of love.
what kind of love?
Achu needs romantic love. I'm telling you. Because yesterday, when we finished shooting and we were on our way home, Achu said something to me in the car.
Don't worry you.
Charlie, worry me. I did think.
As a brother, you worry you.
Charlie, I think I reach herself. I make door.
It's big door for you.
Wifey say why? I say Charlie, Achu. Yeah, he's poor man.
Hey, wait. You said Achu needs what?
He needs love,
Romantic.
love.
And I said I loved him. And he said he doesn't mean my kind of love. What about food love? Food love.
No.
What? No. What about food love? Food love
Food love.
is good, eh?
Yeah, it's good.
Because food can change your mood.
Yeah.
Because a hungry man.
It's an
he's an angry man.
Hey, on that note, Yao Sechi
You say what?
says on Achu's birthday, delish.
Whoa!
Wait, let me finish. Is offering dinner
Hey.
to Achu and his partner.
Wait. Achu don't get partner.
That's the issue, no?
Achu don't you don't get.
Achu is
Wait,
here. You
see.
can't say that
The bottom line of the story is, Achu set an alarm at 1 a.m.
today.
Oh, how?
this morning
Okay.
to wake up and wish himself happy birthday because
Wish
there was
himself.
because there was nobody by his side. He was alone, so he had to wake up at 1 a.m. and wish himself happy birthday and go back to bed sorrowfully. Sorrowfully,
That
I'm telling
sounds
you.
sad.
Very sad. Achu needs laugh.
Achu, did you text him at 1 in the morning?
Am I that self-obsessed to
He
set
told,
an alarm
that's
to
what he told me. in the
wake
car.
up
See, and that's what worried me. He told me that, Charlie. Moro,
The
he said
conversation I
at
had
12,
with Daniel.
Nobody go wish me happy.
The conversation I had with Daniel
Oh, Charlie.
was that yesterday we closed late.
Yes.
It was after 10 p.m.
You did have a conversation with him.
So
That
I'm
is
telling
the
you.
problem.
No,
you
no,
can't be talking to this guy.
I said Thursdays are my worst days because I'll get home naked. And no matter how late I get home, I need to produce the morning show because I can't risk oversleeping and waking up late.
Yes.
And then now, that was the
the
conversation.
I don't know what Danny is at.
You said you are going to
Let me-
set an
let-
alarm.
See, Yao Sechi, I'll
That's
come.
what you said.
Let me finish Yao's message, okay? Yao says Delish Restaurant is offering dinner to Achu and his partner tonight.
Yes.
Whoever Achu decides to take the. You know what? When we finish, then you call Yao Sechi, then.
And I'll
then-
arrange
yeah,
one of-
exactly. Then
yeah.
we wait.
Wait.
See?
When he comes, he say, "Hey."
We have got you.
So Achu, in case you are going, say Delish is at the University of Ghana poolside. Okay.
Right.
Behind the sports stadium. Hey, as such, you have advertised the place nicely. It's okay.
Oh, but I know that.
Yes, he should come with his Ghana card.
Yes, to prove that it is you
Me or the partner?
You.
Uh-huh.
And now that you mention it, and your partner,
and your partner.
please come with Ghana card
see partner.
behind the pool side. Yeah, so she will be waiting for you. Yeah, please add time to it. Achu has a tardiness problem.
He said dinner.
So yes, don't
Actually
worry.
show up there at 11 p.m.
Thank
This
you.
guy,
Why you don't know him?
Ah, wait. Does dinner have a specific time?
Yes, it
Yeah,
does.
that's a
What is the specific? Wait. What's the specific?
Burger, with your stomach,
No,
you should not
wait,
be eating
wait,
after 6.
Wait.
You should not be eating after 6.
Why is that your problem?
It's my problem.
Wait.
It's part of the reason
Wait.
why you are. You, this
I'm going to put you and Sicho to the test. You both said there is a specific time. At the count of, I'll count down to 3. Both of you will mention that specific time for dinner.
no, it's not specific.
It's a
It's a
range.
range.
No, it's a range. Dinner is typically between 5 and 8 p.m. Between 5 and 8.
So there is not a specific time for it.
But he said you can show up at 11. It's not allowed.
you like.
So you
That's
mentioned
why-
the time.
Why does he speak for me?
He mentioned that he's accusing you
All right,
of
guys.
being able to show up.
Okay. Let's move it on. So happy birthday once again.
Thank you.
We
Yeah,
love
man.
you.
Happy
Forget
birthday.
about
Great.
Daniel Cranton.
Great stuff.
We
Thank
love
you.
you. Okay.
Top guy. All the best. man.
But I didn't say I don't like. Yesterday at 11 p.m. He had me drive. We're looking for Kenke for him to eat. 11 p.m.
Oh
What
my
is that?
God. Actually,
Man,
you
you two
too.
day inside.
He's
I'm
lying.
not gonna do that thing because I won't encourage. You give him. They
He did cry for the guy inside saying they want what make I do.
for hunk make he push him.
Oh no lie, me I know this.
Actually, how old are you? two?
Why? I'm 32. Why don't you bail me out on
You
some
are
of these
such a
things?
kid.
I'm not a kid.
You grow. Take.
You are the old man.
You guys say
You are in a hurry to go and die. You want us to join
Are
you.
you? Wait. No. Hold on.
You are in a hurry to go and die. You want us to join you.
Today, I am going to say something that will shock everybody.
Uh-huh.
that.
That
No, I know what I'm going to say. Don't say. Let's move on. Let's move on. Charlie, I know you.
Charlie, let's talk sport.
Now about Charlie.
I'm not this
Make
guy.
we move on.
Danny,
Charlie.
what?
No, I know you. You know, I know you. I looked into your eyes. I knew what you were coming to say.
I see the eye signs.
I knew that.
But I'm to be traitor
know this guy.
because
I know this guy. Too
in this
well.
office,
Happy 32nd birthday. Let's move on.
Full stop.
No conversation. Okay.
Full stop.
In January, Daniel too celebrated his birthday.
you are allowing people to lie, and you in this office every morning you are I'm probably the first person you see after carrying. Every morning you see me come here with my lunchbox. Yet when people are propagating falsehood that I'm always buying food outside, you encourage it. This morning I actually invited you to share in my meal.
No problem. Okay, thank you very
Did
much.
I not?
Oh no, I accept whatever allegation you have leveled.
It's not an allegation.
It's okay. It's okay. The thing I wanted to say, no,
We don't want to hear it. Don't worry, we don't
There's
want
so
to hear
much
it.
to talk about.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
It's 1:40. When you're serious. Must I start the show and let's
some people, but I don't understand. Somebody just sent a message. The person says that Chelsea's trophy is equivalent to 5 corner kicks in the Champions League.
That be true.
You are not correct. You are not correct. Massa, behave. Okay, behave. Anyway, we'll get to that.
Why are you warning the person?
No, we'll get to that. Listen, let's talk about the Black Stars briefly. Or does anyone want to comment on the payment issue? Sicho, the minister has done a great thing.
Yeah.
This matter has been hanging for a long time. CK literally had to do countless interviews. You know, it wasn't a good look.
Yeah.
Now they found the money, they paid the money.
When you inherit office as a politician or as a public servant person, you inherit problems. You inherit maybe if you like liabilities, assets, or what have you. One of the things that the sector minister inherited was the debt that was owed these coaches. And after 5 months, almost getting into the sixth, he's been able to raise the money to pay arrears. I'm just looking for I just want a minister to come and put in measures that makes this automatic, right? Just as everybody goes to work at the end of the month, unless you run your own business, expect that you are paid and you don't have to argue it. These coaches would get their monies paid to them automatically. So a sustainable way of cash flow, right, where all these national team coaches are paid. And it shouldn't stop at Black Stars coaches. It should go down to every national team coach that has been appointed, has an appointment with the ministry through the FA, so that they are paid. Some of the coaches, we say all we want, but look, they are doing a pro bono job for the country.
Especially the youth team.
Especially the youth team coaches. Like they're treated like, you know, it's not an important job, it's not a big job. It's almost like the country is doing the coaches some favors, right? But that has never been the case. Truth of the matter is, for most of the coaches that are coaching the youth teams, it's not that they are getting big jobs out there because of this one. So pay them what is due them, and the ministry should come up with a system that rolls out the money to them every month, and so that we don't have coaches being owed monies going into crucial periods.
CK Akona was in charge for 21 months, from January 2020 to September 2021, and for that period, you know, after he was fired and replaced with Milo, we paid some of his salary arrears and what have you. But we've owed this guy, and I was really shocked today to see the amount of money we've owed him since we sacked him in 2021. $120,000. That can do a lot of things, and we've not paid this guy for all this time. That's just crazy amounts of money. It was also shocking to discover that we hadn't paid Otuado and his backroom staff since October 2024. So we owe him 8 months of salary, and they just cleared 6 months worth. So the likes of Fatal Dada, John Pinsel, JP, John Juman, all of them have received their money, including Lawman, another guy that we sacked a couple of months ago. He also gets his salary arrears, of course. David Duncan, I'm happy for him. Maxwell Kunodu served as assistant to Milovan Rahivac when for his second coming. He came in September 2021, and then he was sacked after the AFCON in January 2022. And we paid Milovan Rahivac, but we never bothered to pay Maxwell Kunodu. Those are some of the things I've never understood. Bottom line is, now all of those issues are behind us. So well done to the minister and his office, and wherever they got the money from to pay this. I think that they should do that more, because they owe Danike, they owe your girls, the princesses. They still owe them, so they should find the money and try and settle all these people. It all gets well for the country in terms of transparency and trust. It breeds trust in the system. And then it encourages commitment as well. So I think it's a positive thing. But let's talk about the team itself. They were in action on Wednesday night against Nigeria. We lost all right by 2-1. Some rather unfortunate mistakes in the first half, but the second half performance was rather impressive. We did get a consolation, but that wasn't enough. So we lost the game. Nonetheless, we saw some positive performances from some players that gave us some encouragement about the direction of the team. Danike, what did you pick up from that performance? Big winners, overall great exercise, you think?
Yeah, especially that second half performance, I think was very impressive. We came out of our shell. We don't really see the Black Stars play like that. That direct attacking, free flowing style. We don't really see it, but we saw that in the second half. Bonsuba and Yirenchi. Yirenchi especially because we know he's a midfielder. Yet he was thrown into his Black Stars debut against Nigeria, second half, playing out of position as a right wing back, and he seemed a complete natural. In fact, most people who watch the game will think that is his right position, and that's the role he's been playing all his life. But I also want to credit the coaching staff, looking at his attributes and seeing him and deeming him fit for that role. Now I love him also because he's like the perfect balance. Defensively he's really good, and offensively also we could see that when he ventured into the final third, his decision making, his choice of runs, they were on point. When the Black Stars usually play with this back three, back five, you've seen in the past couple of years Tariq Lamptey and then Ali Dusseidu playing at right wing back. Ali Dusseidu usually starts in games where we want to contain opposition, play a bit more defensive. Tariq Lamptey, when we want to go more offensive, then he's introduced. But Yirenchi has more of that balance, and he is certainly a player that we should expect to see in the long term. Also, he's versatile. As I said, he's a natural midfielder. So, in the situation where you start with a back five, you need somebody to slot in midfield. You don't necessarily need to effect a substitution for that to happen. He can easily slot in there. So, he really impressed me. Bonsuba also really impressed me. I liked his direct approach to things. He wasn't interested in dilly-dallying on the ball. When he picked it up, he was looking at his opposition defender, running at them, trying to dribble past them, create opportunities, especially in that second half. And that's what I loved about him. He didn't overdo it. He goes past one, he's looking up, trying to swing in a crossing, or looking up, trying to get a pass in. He's not looking for the next person to dribble or the next person to dribble. And it was really impressive from my point of view. Braden also, I think when he came on, Braden Thomas Asante, when he came on from the bench, his movement was really impressive. I like the way he combined with Jordan, because in the second half we saw Jordan go a bit more central and a bit more involved in things, and they had that understanding. As and when Jordan vacated the box, Braden was slotting, and then vice versa, and it was nice to see. Obviously, he also got his first goal for the Black Stars. So yeah, there were some real winners on the day. I think Ebenezer Annan also, when he came on, and he's a very interesting player, because I think offensively he's really good. He suits that back three as a wing back sort of player. When he's played at full back, he seemed to struggle, but it's always good to find the role that suits the player. And when you look at the sort of player he is, in fact, when he came up, he never stopped bumping forward. He always took up very good positions, and obviously he got the assist for the goal we scored. But I think all in all, we played a good enough game to at least get a draw. I don't think Nigeria were that dominant in the first half. I think both teams lacked a bit of quality in the first half. It was a silly individual mistake, and then a deflected set piece goal that got Nigeria 2-0 up. Sometimes these things happen in football. You don't necessarily need to play your best to get the result. And I don't think Nigeria were completely dominant. We lack quality up front. They lack quality, but they were able to get the two goals. In the second half, I think the Black Stars were by far the better team, created enough opportunities to pull it level. You actually made some two really good free headers. We saw the last minute chance from Abu Francis when he came on. Lovely combination play between himself, I think it was Gideon Mensah, and then Jordan Ayew. We created that chance. Very good save from Nwabali. But I think Otuado and his technical team will look at especially that second half and feel like there's something in there. That approach works. The team is confident enough 2-0 down to take the game to opposition and not concede too many chances on the counter attack. I think we found a nice balance, and there's something he did with Gideon Mensah in that second half that really interested me. It looked really nice, because Gideon himself, although slotting into midfield, seemed very comfortable with the role. He was comfortable picking it up in central areas, picking passes, driving through. So I these are the sort of games you can try some of these things, and when it works, then you know that yes, there's something in there. So I think it was all in all a good exercise. Obviously, we would have wanted to beat Nigeria because it's Nigeria, but I think we've learned a lot about our team from this game, and there's something to build on for the future.
And he mentioned a lot of players that deserve some credit. ones that put up performances that at least has put them in the conversation of being good options. So Bonsuba and she is now a very good option at right back. He's also a central midfielder. Bonsuba on that wing area could give Nioma or whether it's Sahaku or that's already obviously an area that we are very stacked in. But he seemed to be a bit more direct than the players that we have already at the moment. One player he didn't mention, I don't know if, or maybe I didn't hear, Ashimura. I thought he had a good game too.
Yeah, he did until the injury.
Yeah, he gives us something different, very direct, and he's a willing presser too. Like he's very trigger happy in terms of the press. So very energetic. Unfortunately, just seems to be one of those players that can stay fit. But there were performances of other players that was not exactly very. I want to say impressive. Satisfactory is probably the right word. How do we handle those situations? One of them being Razak something was just a case of a day off, because he seemed like a player that we were growing really fond of. But this wasn't just an issue of a one-off game, or was it?
No. And I think the reason it sticks out like a sore thumb is the fact that while we've not seen him be this bad in the past, there's been other less than satisfactory performances. So it makes it difficult to try to hold brief for him and say that perhaps it's because the entire team was bad, which would be true, because indeed the entire team looked poor. Not just him, I think Ambrosius also did not look very comfortable, and it comes from the fact that they have not played together for a long time, right? Ambrosius himself has not been in the team for since September 2023, so it will take some getting used to. My issue is, or my hope is, that this is the last of the experiments. After this, the door needs to be shut. Otuado has been back for, I think, a year and a half, or a year and some 4 months.
He came back in March last year.
That has to be enough time. So a year and 2 or 3. That has to be enough time for him to have looked around and seen every player in the national pool and form an opinion. Not just that opinion, but taking a definitive position on where they rank in the grand scheme of affairs within his plan. So from here on, I would not want to see any more debuts handed to players. If someone is coming into the team, it is perhaps for the future. So they need to come in, assimilate with the culture and all of that. But not as someone who you want to try another person and see. Because at what point do you stop the experimenting and actually start the team building? Right? Because he's been around for a while now. And we need to begin to see a departure from the bad tactical habits that have characterized our performances. All of the issues
You're
that we used
saying that you didn't see enough in this game to be convinced that
in the first half, there were traces of everything we've complained. Not just traces, but on large scale, everything we've complained about in the year that he has been around, and even before he got the job. So I was on comms duty.
Second half, you also saw.
I'll come to that. I was on comms duty with Daniel, and after the first free kick was missed, I said I wasn't comfortable with how we handled that scenario. The next one went into the back of the net. How many times have we not spoken about the Black Stars and how we have struggled to deal with set piece situations in the past year and even before that, right? How many times have we not complained about how disjointed the team has looked and the fact that we do not have strong personalities at the back, and there doesn't seem to be any clarity in terms of how this team plays. Rather, it's been very reactive, so the coaching is often tailored to what the opponent wants to do, which isn't a bad thing. But when it is not followed by consistent results, and when in that game against Nigeria, especially in the first half, we see the team play in the manner that it did, there will be question marks, right? And so I would want to see a bit more consistency from him in terms of his team selection and in terms of how the team sets up. As for the 3-back, be it 3-5-2, 3-4-3, those are just formations. Okay. When the referee's whistle goes, how your team plays, that has to be fixed. There needs to be a certain consistency in terms of how that. At this point, we should be able to tell who the biggest contributors to Otto's projects are. That's just one side of it. Number two,
What you expect? I mean, how were you going to see that in a friendly game where a lot of the key players that were not present?
But it's not his first game, is it? And
No,
over
but
time,
we're talking specifically about this game.
yeah,
And
that's
what
why.
lessons we picked from it. And you
That's
were
why I'm
that-
saying that at this point, we should see more of the performance in the first half than what in the second half than what we did in the first
Okay,
half.
fair enough.
Right. Apart from the consistency I want to see in selection and how the team plays, we also need to be seen to be moving away from the reliance on some of the team's more trusted legs who are approaching the end of their careers. By the time the next World Cup comes around, Jordan will be 2 months shy of 35. Thomas Partey will be around the same age range, probably a year or two younger than Jordan. Those in the past year have been the team's best players. Yes, we have a lot of talented players around, but none of them appears ready to be able to contribute to the levels that we've seen Jordan and Partey give us in the past year. And here's the thing. It's not they've not even been excellent in every game. Those two players who have essentially been our best players in that period, they've not even been excellent in every game. Right? So when you have a scenario where we all admit that we have a lot of young, gifted players around, and yet they cannot match up to that level, at a point when they are about descending the cliff, it's a problem. So we need to find a succession plan for Jordan, for Partey.
Isn't that exactly what your man was doing in this game on Wednesday, where he tried a lot of new players, and perhaps the reason the first half performance wasn't as impressive as you probably would have liked?
Whatever it is, I would want to see a certain consistency,
Fair enough. Okay.
right? With those players, and especially Thomas Brandon Asante. I think after his first 2 games for Ghana, a lot of people were curious about what he could do given more minutes. I think he answered those questions in yesterday's game for Tuado, and I do hope that himself, Parbones, and others become a mainstay in the team. Not even if not a starter, but players who can push others close.
Okay.
And where they merit it, let them to start. But I need to end with this thing.
Okay.
There's a certain trend developing. Now I get it. I understand the explanation the FA put out, and I would want to give them the benefits of the doubt and believe that they were honest and that those players they say are injured are also injured. But for about a year now, some of our best players have not been available for the friendlies that we have been playing.
For about a year now, how many friendlies have we played?
The ones that I remember, the boys, unfortunately, I don't want to put out names for it to look like we're antagonizing some people. It looks like we're all moving on in harmony. It's just a word of caution that I'm sounding out, right? That let's not have this scenario where we begin to pick and choose which games Mr. A will show up or which games Mr. B will show up when they are comfortable. I get it. It's not the classic FIFA international window. But if it is possible to come, especially in a period when the team is still, as we are told, going through transition and needs its best elements around to build on the momentum that we had from the last 2 qualifiers, I think it would have been nice to get everyone available for this one.
Okay. Well, the last friendly match that Ghana played was back in March of last year. So more than a year ago. So that's why I asked you, when you said in the last year there's been a trend developing, I'm thinking in the last year we've not played any friendlies. This is the first friendly in the last 12.
It goes back, it goes, I think, further back than that. Because
so
I was factoring in the other pre-tournaments, the friendlies that we would have before tournaments. So I think the Foundation tournaments, Otto's very first one.
that's the one I'm talking about. That was in March of
No, I'm not talking about this one. As far back as the 2023 one. Is it
Before
the
the
Kirin
World
Cup?
Cup?
Yes, before all of
Korean
those.
Cup.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sucho, your thoughts on Wednesday night's game?
It went just as expected. It's a friendly exercise. The time that the game was played, or the period in the season that the game was played, was clear that we're not going to have all our best players available. So I cut them a lot of slack. Look, they've had a very long season. Some of them have to think about their future and they have to start talking to clubs. Some of them are not fit. And the truth of the matter is that when the season's about to end, some of these players are playing through pain and injury. So when the season ends and you're asking them to come and play for the Black Stars at a time where it's not international friendly, you're asking too much of them. So some of them will excuse themselves. We also know that some of them, their clubs also block them from playing. And we don't know exactly those that the club blocked from playing, those that were injured, and those that asked to be excused. All the three reasons make sense to me. The club says, no, you can go and play. Some are not fit, that's fine.
I think I know about Jerome Opoku, Jiku.
Yeah.
I think that's about
Their
it.
clubs blocked them from coming. Some too were injured. Some also just excused
And
themselves.
that's a easy trend to establish because both of them play in Turkey.
In Turkey,
So
yeah.
there might be a reason why
Reason
Turkish
why
clubs and
yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's exactly what I expected. But that is the essence of a friendly game. It's not only for you to play the players you are used to. It gives you the opportunity to see those you've not had the opportunity of seeing them. The African continent it's different from what we see in Europe, because the Europeans have got an opportunity of seeing new players with their Nations League, some of the fixtures, and in between that, the nature of their qualifiers even affords the coaches sometimes, some of the big teams, the coach to try some new play, because look, if you're England and you're playing against Kazakhstan, you can decide to let Hurricane rest more.
It's no longer like that here. He can't feel the
It's
weaker
not like
team
that.
against Chad
You can't do that,
or against Niger.
especially in these times of the Black Stars.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the only real time that a coach will have, the opportunity of trying players that he has no idea how they fit into his style would be this window. So yeah, I cut him that slack. And also, I don't think you should shut the door like Achu was saying. A classic example: Brazil have gone back to call Casemiro, and Spain have gone back to call Isco. So there will be players who have come into the Black Stars. They've not done well in the last 2 years, but as long as they are still active and playing, you never know what will become of them.
What is this guy doing here?
Where is the what?
Hey, no.
What is
Answer
what
the
is
question.
Christopher Nimley doing in my studio? Coach, you have a show this evening. Go and do your show.
Where is the Toza?
You took me to Tunu. Asok.
Go
Fully
and
committed.
My
Fully
friend,
committed.
Fully committed.
Fully committed.
Fully
Thank you
committed.
for that.
You took a video of me showing the whole world that
The
you
whole
are feeding me good. Asok,
You were
good. How can you take me to Tunu and give me rice in the morning, rice in the afternoon, rice in the evening,
Rice.
2 days, 2 days.
Rice.
You deprive me of your native food.
Toza.
Lord Jesus.
Asok.
You are Zebat Kawi Shakim.
where has this guy appeared from? Where
Asok.
is he going? Where was he going? Look, that was every conversation. In all fairness, Coach, I apologize. Okay, I will make it up to you. I will make it up to you.
Why-
Don't tell him about the cow story. because if he hears the cow story, now he will collapse and die.
But you hear it one way or the other.
Oh God. Yeah, Sicho, please go on.
Yeah, so like I was saying, it's a national team. When players are doing well, you reward them with that call up. And when players are not doing well, other players take their places. So I'm expecting that there'll be some players at the moment who are not doing well, but in the next 2 years, if they are playing well in their clubs, I'm not going to invite them or don't invite them because So as for national team, the door is always open. Now the door is open for Capituna Muamakan.
If the doors are always open,
Yeah.
there's a curious case. Why wasn't Königsdorfer called for this? I mean,
Yeah.
he's got 14 goals for Hamburg the last season in their promotion bid to
3
the
assists.
Bundesliga. They got promoted. Basically, was their best player.
I think Otto doesn't fancy him. Forget all the stats.
Yeah.
I just think, and there is that. You can have a very
He was in the video that the FA posted about Otto.
Visiting.
Otto did, yeah, exactly. He visited some player. He was one of those players that was in the in that video.
I
So-
just don't think Otto fancies him. And to be fair, the position that he plays, I'm not sure we are in great need of him.
Right.
And there are players who, some way somehow, do so well for their clubs, but when they turn out for their countries, they are just not it. I think it could be one of those players. But again, it will take the manager to have faith in him, find his best spots in the team, and then get him to play well. But they see a player they are going to build a team. I mean, shape your team in a way that projects his strength, or there are more important players you want to focus on building a team around, like the Mohamed Kudus, Thomas Partey, and other players in the team. So I think that is where the Koningsdorfer issue is one painful thing for him, because he's done well for his club. But in the national team, when he comes here, it's a different player altogether. He's never really cut it when he's won the shirt. So yeah.
I think that what I would say is that we have to give our national team handlers some credit. Look, we've got two right wingers who have suffered ACL injuries, really bad ones.
Isaaku and Nuama.
Yeah. And at the time when it seemed like a really, really difficult moment for us, they go on and they feel they play like Bonsuba.
Yeah.
And he looks like he had been part of this team all this time.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you're looking forward to that September window, and you're not scared that there's no Nyoma and there's no Ishahaku, because you just know that this kid is going to slot into that exact position and he's going to absolutely ball.
So that's the essence of the friendlies, right? So you can, and the first half, look, the first half was bad.
Right.
But it wasn't necessarily only down to coaching personnel, because they were just trying to try some players and be sure what it could get from them. Like a player like Salis was way off it.
Right.
Razak Simpson was off it.
Right.
So there were a couple of players who, Kwame Poku, it didn't work. I mean, there are reasons for that, but it just didn't work. So they are trying things and it didn't work.
Right.
But in the second half, it was a lot better. Again, because maybe personnel change, some approach change. Structurally and the shape-wise, I don't think it was very, very different, but intensity was a lot better.
Yeah.
Passing was a lot better, and then we got some players on and they did the job. But what I want to see from the Black Stars, and actually mentions it, is consistency in style. Because the problem with Ghana is, for every single game, there are spells where we can point to and say, in that 5 minutes, in that 10 minutes, that 20 minutes, we did this, we did that. But we've never had a full 90 minutes of solid performance. Even in games we won in recent times, like, forget about the more recent one we played in Accra. That one was in some way. The one we played against,
Madagascar.
No, not Madagascar.
Chad.
Chad.
Yeah.
That one they know Demon. I'm not adding that one, so nobody should reference it. That one there is out.
But we played like that, we just didn't win.
Which games?
The Sudan game. We just didn't win.
No, I don't think
So
the Sudan
one
game.
at home.
Yeah,
The one at home, we created some really
No,
good
no. So,
chances.
Really well,
so,
just-
But then
so,
away
some
from
saying
home,
we were
only
poor,
two
yeah.
were so bad.
so
That's
so
the lack of consistency situation.
no, but even in that Sudan game,
Yeah.
there were major spells in the game that I thought we did the right things, but there were times in that game where Sudan looked very comfortable.
Right.
Like there were lots of times in that game that Sudan looked very comfortable, but of course it's expected, it's football. But what I'm saying is, like, we've not really had consistency in terms of performances.
Right.
So I'm hoping that second half performance is what we see at the start of the third and fourth playoff. Right?
Exactly.
We are not going to have that first half again and chase the game again, because you're not sure if the boys only played well because of adrenaline and it's Nigeria and it's 2-0 and you have to show up, or something really changed. So we want to see that kind of performance at 0-0. We want to see that kind of performance when we are leading 1-0. Then we can say that is how we are beginning to play.
Yeah.
But if it becomes situational, I told you Edina Takashi, you know, there is that. Reactionary, that kind of thing.
It's not really a
Yeah, then some way. Then every time somebody goes score it on 2, then some way.
05511111997. That's the WhatsApp number for those of you who want to contribute to the conversation. 05511111997 on WhatsApp. Lots of you have already sent in messages. Christopher, that guy Bonsuba is very good. This is Piqué with that particular message. I agree with you. He's a phenomenal young footballer, plays for Genk. There's a message here that also says, please, friend, I'm very interested in what you want to say. I because I am sure that has something to do with Danny K. Hence his interference. Nana from Peace Land.
You will never know.
He doesn't like. Nana doesn't like peace.
He like
Nana from Peace Land doesn't like
You
peace.
never know. You close your ears.
This one says you guys mean especially the guy with the name that rings a bell. Kranteng Kafra Sichu. Say Kafra Achu. For the Black Stars, every time the second half was great, what did it do for you? Let's be serious in this country. And I think that feeds into Sichu's point. You can't just get up and choose only one moment. Oh, these 15 minutes were very good. No, it has to be.
And look,
And it's
again,
always when we are down.
And again, we could have lost the game by 2-1 against Nigeria. But if the first half and second half performances were no worlds apart,
Yeah.
now I'm looking at the game like we really played well.
Yeah.
But we didn't really play well because there were large parts of the game that were not good.
Right.
So get a consistent performance and still lose.
Yeah.
We understand the effort and what you're trying to do.
Right. Dale in Madrid says, welcome back, guys. Friends, just imagine you are a university student, then you couldn't perform among your peers, so you were demoted to basic school. Then you were first in the basic school exams, and you are celebrating as if you got a university degree. That's the case of Chelsea.
Apt.
They should give us a break. Other big clubs wouldn't even wish in their
Apt.
history to compete
Apt.
for Conference League.
Apt.
It only means Chelsea is a small club. By the way, Inter will win the Champions League.
Quick.
Madrid, we are coming next season like Akai,
Ba-
starting from Club World Cup, Xavi and Trent Ball.
Quick.
Dale, I have plenty things to tell
No,
you.
nothing. What's
He's
your
not asking for your opinion on his opinion.
No, Hala. Happy birthday, Achu. This message says, victory be victory. To be a champion will be easy. Well done, Chelsea. Elvis Datson, Coal City in Amezofe.
Who defense way?
Thank you.
Classics.
He
Yeah,
sent
supposed to
us
be
that
just a
message.
shout.
And this one says, this is a message from, who is this guy? Who says, Fent, that trophy is equal to 5 corner kicks in the Champions League.
Fent, wait, too.
Who told you?
Fent.
Yes.
So if you're maybe a level 400
Uh-huh.
and they say write BC and you get 10 ones in BC, will you celebrate it?
You see why I keep saying that the analogy is not a good one,
Okay.
because football clubs, unlike students, as in Dale's example, we go through phases. Okay, students don't go through phases where they get voted from university to basic school. It will never happen.
So you're saying
okay,
that.
so it's not a.
So you're
you see,
saying
it's
that-
not an apt
you can
analogy.
get
So it's apt,
Right.
but you're saying
Yeah,
that.
that one, you have been sacked.
So
And
if they sack you, it's the same as.
you are not listening. If they sack you from university, you are not going to basic school.
No, so
That's
the
the
point
point.
is-
You have been sacked from university. So I'm saying all your analogies, no. You people are. You are. It's called red herring. You people are-
See how you are suffering.
Calm down. Calm
See
down.
how you're
How can you
suffering.
look at the example?
Relax,
Look at the
relax.
example
Come
Del
on,
gave.
Relax.
Come
Who gets the
Do you want
most?
to- Do you want water?
Football clubs, football clubs go through phases. A club can play in Champions League this season. The following season, they can be in the Conference League. That will never happen to a university student. You can't be in university this term, and next term you are in basic school. It doesn't happen.
Wait, so that is why when clubs are going through those phases, or in this case, if you are at the university, your expenditure on your academics, right? It's never the same as the expenditure of somebody going to
Fact.
BC. Facts.
Yes.
So when your expenditure at the BC class begins to look like it's even bigger than the expenditure at the university level, then there are question marks about the achievements.
Still, sir, analogy now.
You see,
That analogy still I am fact.
yo.
Game plan is brought to you by Betway. Now let me tell you about the Bet Influencer. Betway Influencer. It's time to get rewarded as the next big sports betting influencer with Betway. You can place bets and share your codes with friends, fans, and followers. And if they place the bets using your code, you earn 4% of their wager. 4% of their wager, not what they win. 4% of what they stake, it is yours automatically if they use your code. It doesn't matter if it's a win or loss. If they bet, you earn cash. And the more people that bet with your code, of course, the more you will earn. Start betting, sharing, and winning the Bet Influencer exclusive to Betway. Terms and conditions, of course, always apply. Let me also tell you about Petrosol Platinum Energy. Hello Ghana, remember the excitement, the dreams we feel together for 10 incredible years. Petrosol Platinum Energy celebrated with you in the Energizing Dreams promo. We poured joy into your journeys, rewarded your loyalty, and share your aspirations. But as the sun rises on a new day, so too does a new chapter for Petrosol Platinum Energy. While the anniversary celebrations have concluded, our promise remains unwavering to be your trusted partner on every road in every endeavor. So Petrosol Platinum Energy, the triple ISO certified, multiple award winning, with over 100 stations nationwide, we are continuing to deliver the quality fuel and lubricants you depend on. So we remain committed to energizing your dreams, fueling your progress, empowering Ghana's growth. Our tagline says it all. Petrosol, energizing dreams. It's not just a slogan, it's our enduring commitment to you. You can visit any of our over 100 stations across Ghana and experience the Petrosol difference. Quality you can trust, service you can rely on. Petrosol Platinum Energy, still energizing your dreams today and always. Keep your messages coming on 055-1111-997. I read them after the break. We're going to go and talk about Chelsea and the Champions League, of course. So quite a lot to still cover here on the show. Do stay with us. This is Game Plan on 99.7 Joy FM, also on Hits 103.9 FM.
Kwame is cooking up the perfect multi-bet, ready to serve to all his friends and followers. He's using Betway's Bet Influencer, a new sports betting feature where he can make money just by sharing his codes. The more codes he shares, the more money he makes. Anyone can be a bet influencer. Another world first from Betway. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way. Betway. Get way more.
FPAC is effective for headaches and relieves the symptoms of flu, colds, and catarrh. FPAC blows away the pain associated with sore throats. During and after a hard day's work, FPAC relieves you of body pains. After the day's sports workout, FPAC helps the body to control the aching muscles. FPAC is effective against feverishness. FPAC reduces body temperature associated with malaria and other fevers. FPAC is effective against rheumatic pains. You can find FPAC in all pharmacy and chemical select shops throughout the country. FPAC is not recommended for children less than 16 years of age, ulcer and asthmatic patients, pregnant and lactating mothers. If symptoms persist for more than 2 days, consult your doctor. FPAC blows your pain away.
FPAC Junior follows in the tradition of FPAC tablets, a trusted friend to relieve your child of pain associated with teething, catarrh, cold and fever. The good that FPAC does for you, FPAC Junior does for your child. FPAC Junior is for children between 6 months and 12 years. FPAC Junior blows your child's pain away.
The EMY Africa Expo is back. After a blockbuster debut with over 10,000 attendees, 100 exhibitors, and over 20 industries represented, this year we turn it up a notch. This is your official invitation to be part of the second edition of the EMY Africa Expo, happening from the 19th to the 22nd of June at the Accra International Conference Center. Whether you're in the automotive, fashion, tech, real estate, health, finance, agribusiness, travel, lifestyle, or anything in between, this is your platform for visibility, networking, strategic partnerships, and media exposure that matters. Register now at www.emyafrica.com or call 020-201-8870. The EMY Africa Expo 2025. Show up, stand out, scale up.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Shooting opportunity, which is taken brilliantly by Abde.
When the ball breaks to Isco, and he's got 2 or 3 options on, and he actually picks the perfect pass, and possibly the hardest one that's available to him as well.
Effort here, first time, which is pushed away by Jorgensen. Ambitious attempt, but Betis have really got their tails up here. Palmer sends in the cross. Enzo Fernandez with the header, and he brings Chelsea level. Another one of those roaming runs into the box to put Chelsea on level terms in the Conference League final. man. He manages to do so, and Chelsea have got themselves into the lead through Nicholas Jackson.
Brilliant from Palmer. Absolutely wonderful individual play from him on the right-hand side.
Yeah. Chelsea Football Club, champions of Europe once again. That's what it is. Cole Palmer, a.k.a. Our Messi. Oh, Charlie. Guys, Chelsea Football Club have made history. The first and only football club. Our Messi. Sicho, say something nice about our Messi.
No, Cole Palmer is a great footballer.
Thank you very much.
Very talented. He goes about his job as if he's playing in his background. And that's the thing. Even when you listen to him in his interviews, the way he speaks is so unfair. It's like he just goes about the job. He's so cool. He's so calm on the ball. And it's a great character, really, because when he had a very difficult, or when he's had these difficult spells in the season where he's not played well, he's not scored goals, he's not created enough, he's not created the chances, he still looks so calm anytime he has the ball. Right? So it's even difficult to tell even whether he's lacking in confidence, or because he's still very calm on the ball. He's still very the same demeanor. You know, the other players who are so, you know, hot-headed, they are quick, they are fast, they do everything at a certain tempo. And when they are not looking confident, or when they are struggling, all of a sudden their game is slowed down. But Cole Palmer is not scoring, he's not assisting. Like back, he still looks it's still the same guy, and I think it's a great attribute to have at that level. It's difficult to stay as calm as he does, and that is why he's called the number of penalties he scores, because he needs to be cold enough. You know, to be able to
Bars.
Yeah, you need
I want Messi.
You need to be cold enough to be able to, you know, tap them home like he does. So yeah, and in the final we saw it. In the first half was also Sociedad. I think Enzo Maresca overthought it.
Also said that, except Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony was terrible.
He wasn't in the game.
About you shall. Me the guest. I'm saying Sociedad. It's not even to correct me. You to
Sociedad. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It was all Betis except.
Oh, but you know say Anthony Isha. Yeah, I told you. But he says that when I say it, he cries. So I've refrained from saying it. When I watch that, I go emotional. I'm the reason why he's been crying. He's been going on hunger strike. But
the guy was
Sancho after the game.
Yeah, Sancho the Agam the hype him.
I don't know who did the interview before the cup final. Like,
yeah,
he talk about his Man U strike.
Yeah, he said the chop, like hunger strike.
He
like
can't play with his kids. He locks himself out.
So it made me feel very, very bad. Like it looked like he was talking to me. So I felt, but what's
the whole idea was that the story was supposed to be complete.
Yeah,
he wins the trophy.
Yeah,
and he went there to go and
they will go from depression
and he went to the father to go and prove me right. So what's that? But look, the first half was, I think Enzo Maresca tried to do something from his boss Pep. He overthought it a little bit. Chelsea should have just gone with their strongest. If Chelsea went with a team that played in that second half, I think the first half would have been a lot better. They were by miles favourites going into the game. Betis themselves have not had the greatest of. They've struggled in their last 5 games or so. They've not had the same mojo about them. But
they have individual quality in that team.
Betis,
yeah,
some.
Isco is in the La Liga team of the season,
and
Abdi
Ezalzouli is a Barca product. Bartra played for Barcelona and Dortmund. And I'm giving Anthony is a £100 million player.
Like we are trying so hard. Look, the fact that's what I'm saying. Fornals. Do you remember Fornals?
Pablo Fornals.
Yes.
Fornals.
Yes.
West Ham.
Fornals and Adrian. Those two came from West Ham. I want no problem.
So it's Betis. Look, Betis actually punch above their weights.
And they've got a great coach.
Pellegrini, yeah. Especially, and that is why they are doing as well. Look, that squad shouldn't be doing what they are doing this season in La Liga and maybe in the Conference League. But some of the teams they play in the Conference League to get to the final, I thought they really did well to get there. But the second half, once the coach made that change, took off Malo Gusto, brought on the captain Reece James. Later on, took off Neto for Jadon Sancho.
And then
Chelsea were Badiashile for Liverpool. Yeah. Chelsea were a lot better. But it still had to come down to Cole Palmer producing his magic. Look, the cross to Enzo Fernandez was right on the money. Like it was begging to be finished.
Just a touch.
And Enzo has, and I said last season that he was underperforming. I think this season he's playing a lot more as we'd have expected him to do. He got into the box, finished the ball, and I love the second goal, the Jackson goal. I think that one for me was a real, like, it's like Palmer planned everything he wanted to do on the ball. Because when you see the replay from behind the goal, when he had the ball, he took his man away towards his own area or towards his own goal, taking him away from the penalty area, just to create space behind him. Because the skill he wanted to apply, he needed room behind him. And then once that space was created, he applied that skill, turned around his man, put in the cross, and Nicholas Jackson was in a good place. At 2-1, there was no way Betis were going to come back. Chelsea went on to win the game by 4 goals to 1. But yeah, it's a game you expect Chelsea to win. Credit to them.
Jackson,
yeah,
there was a moment. The one he took the ball alone from his own half and ran. I want to give it to the goalkeeper.
Are you surprised?
You relax. Then again, I choose. This question is to the both of you. There is a certain group of people out there, vehemently since Wednesday, who have said that Chelsea by no means should be celebrating the Conference League. In fact, that their fans should not be. The club itself has said that they won't do a trophy parade because this is not a big enough trophy for them. But they've won, and the fans are celebrating.
Parade.
Why? The Club World Cup. Chelsea wants to win that one to say there's no time. They need to give.
So if they won the Champions League, so if Inter or PSG win the Champions League, even though they will play, they won't do parade. If Inter or
you see, if Inter win the Champions League, it would have been their first Champions League or European trophy since 2010, 15 years.
So if Madrid won their 16th, having won their 15 last season, they won't do parade.
No, Real Madrid, they have a special relationship with the Champions League, so they will do that thing.
So if Liverpool won the Champions League and that slot this season, having won it 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, they won't do parade.
Last time Liverpool won the Champions League was
2 years ago also.
Was it 2 years ago?
Under Klopp.
2019.
2019.
Yes.
It's 6 years ago. It's a long time.
So don't do parade.
Chelsea wasn't that long ago. 2021.
You are mad. You are mad. Somebody will
Wait. Is it just agenda there, or there is? I mean, why shouldn't they celebrate? See, you can only win what is in front of you.
Wait.
Right?
Yes.
And they've won, and you people say they shouldn't celebrate.
Nobody's saying Chelsea should not celebrate.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It is within their right to celebrate. Of course, you've won the trophy. No, you can't expect that they will just take the trophy, go and put it down, and then walk away. They have to celebrate it. They worked for it. However, the idea that they have achieved something never seen before is what
that
is
history, you know.
It is what is not only disingenuous but quite irritating and disappointing.
How is a fact disingenuous?
There is a reason the club itself is being modest in its celebration of it, because it is important not to sell the idea that this is the be-it-all end-all of the project.
West Ham did the Bass Parade. West Ham.
You get me?
You saw it.
When Todd Boehly, before Mauricio Pochettino came in, he outlined what the objectives are for this project. He spoke about the infrastructure bits, the youth development, the recruitment, and then when he came to the KPIs, he said the idea is to compete and win the Premier League. The idea is to win the domestic competitions. As for the domestic competitions, they didn't talk about compete. He said he was specific. He said the idea is to win those, and then he said the idea is to compete for the big titles in Europe and win them. When 3 years later, the team is struggling to make it into the Champions League, and they have the Conference League to show as the only symbol of success, that project has not been successful. And the club, in their admission of that, in the appreciation of that fact, are modest in their celebration of it, because if the plan all along was to win the Conference League, or if the target was there, for example, even the Europa League, Chelsea would not have set out to go and spend the amount of money that they spent.
So it wasn't the plan.
No,
they just happened
it
to
was
find
not.
themselves there.
Yes.
And they've won.
So
therefore they shouldn't celebrate.
Are you listening at all?
So, no, I heard you.
You don't like the analysis. It's that chuchu a whoa. That is why
you are going Chelsea. Let's talk about the Chelsea.
Let me conclude.
Oh, okay.
If as a person a question is answering, you say it's okay.
The English is not nice to me.
It's not for you, it's for the audience.
So see, celebrate the trophy by all means. The club has celebrated it in the best way possible, but they do not also want to send the signal to the players that this is what we stand for. Chelsea represents something far bigger. As far as the elite clubs of the modern era are concerned, they are right up there. When it comes to Champions League halls, think of all of them. The only teams that have won more in the last 15 years or so than Chelsea
20.
has to be Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool has the same number as Chelsea. Milan, as for Milan, Chelsea have even more Champions League titles in the last 20 years. They have more than Manchester United. So the idea that we've achieved, the people who tell you that the big clubs will not gloat about that tactic or that statistic, they are not lying.
It's an unwanted record.
They are not lying. No,
an unwanted record the big boys will never ever have.
No, you see, unwanted, unwanted, yes.
Unless,
but it has arrived, so they should keep quiet.
No, I'm
nobody
not
is saying
quiet. Unless you don't respect your team, or if you are a latter day Chelsea fan, that's okay. If you are a Todd Bowley Chelsea fan, that's fine because that's your level. No. 2004, if far. But if you know what this club stands for, you will not. Michael Essien Chelsea fans be hard.
At least then see some level.
Maybe the proper Chelsea fans.
Then see some
those
level.
ones are not celebrating these things.
So
it's below the club's level.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's impressive. Yeah, you've won because you are in the competition, so you have to show that you are the bosses, and they show that they are bosses of the competition. But to join the company of
it's not a moment of pride to show that you are the boss.
No, I don't think any serious Chelsea fan who enters an argument will make this as a reference. Right. Any serious Chelsea fan. Right. If you enter an argument with another big team, unless you don't respect your team, for West Ham they can mention this as they've won the trophy. It's a big deal for them. But this is Chelsea.
You do know that there are other big clubs who have entered lower tier competition and have not won.
Yes,
but they have fans who go about talking.
About what?
They still tout. No, I'm getting at something. That UEFA has created different types of competitions.
Yeah.
You have the Champions League sitting at the very top. There's Europa League, there's Conference League. All these competitions exist. They're all UEFA competitions.
Yeah.
All right. As I said earlier in my submission, the clubs go through phases. There will be moments where you find yourself in lower tier competition because perhaps you are going through a certain transition. Yeah. It happens for football clubs. Man United happened to find themselves in the Europa League last season. This is Manchester United. They had played in the Champions League perhaps maybe in the past, maybe 10 years in a row. You would never find them in a lower tier competition. They found themselves there.
Yeah.
Now, for a club going through a very difficult moment, winning a European competition would be fantastic. And there is a very good example from 2016 when they did it. Jose Mourinho found himself there. He didn't take the team there, but he came and the team was in that competition. And he's a Champions League winning coach. But he said, I cannot find myself in this competition as a Manchester United fan with this club and not win. Jose goes all the way. He wins.
You are changing the argument.
But they are not. No United fan even gloated over that.
He had a full submission and we've understood your point.
No, but offense.
No United fan even gloated over that.
Nobody said Chelsea should enter the competition and not win.
You're telling me that no Manchester United fan has ever said that they won the Europa League and it was a moment of pride. They won the trophy.
No, hang on.
Because it's a lower.
You are changing the question.
The difference is, Man United desperately needed to win it to get back to
the Champions League.
So when Man United speak about that Europa League, it was the goal wasn't there. The goal wasn't even this season. United winning the Europa League wasn't something that the fans were looking at. So the fans were looking at the club playing
in the Champions League.
If there was no merit, hang on, wait. Let me
You are telling me right now
yes,
that if there was no Champions League qualification attached to the Europa League,
it would have meant nothing to a club like Man United.
Why did you think UEFA introduced it?
No, I'm serious. No. It would have meant nothing to a club like.
Honest.
It would have meant
United
nothing.
fans would not have celebrated because
I would celebrate.
who says
It's not
celebrate?
No, wait.
The entire narrative around that final was you can't make top 4 and you want to use Europa to make Champions League.
Yes.
It's getting to the Champions League. It's not just winning the Europa.
Yes.
I get that.
The thing is, don't use your small mentality. Don't use your small team mentality.
There was a time the UEFA Cup.
Don't act like
before the rebranding. There was a time the UEFA Cup before the Europa League. Nobody would win it and go to the Champions. You win it, it ends there.
Yes.
That at that time.
Even when it became Europa League at the early stage,
yes, the prestige were not going to Champions. The prestige attached to it was different. Yeah. Clubs will win it and nobody cares. People were not even watching it. When they rebranded it, it's true. How many people were watching?
I was watching it.
You are watching. It's your work. Something. I'm saying that it didn't have the mileage. These days, it has more appeal because of. Nobody cares about the Conference League, to be honest. Really, like nobody would see the Conference League quarter-final games and
you see,
other games.
This is what when you say no, when you see, this is the issue. When you universally dismiss it, like
when I say nobody, but you're the only ones who can understand.
The ones who care, you are telling them that they shouldn't celebrate.
No, nobody says don't celebrate. Don't gloat.
Let's talk about more seriously.
All right, this is Game Plan 99.7 Joy FM. It's 2:38 p.m. inside the studio here in Kokomlemle Adabraka. Hey, what is Kokomlemle Adabraka? What is wrong with me? In Kokomlemle Accra. That's where we are. Tomorrow, though, we will be at the Aviation Social Center for the Champions League final. It's the Hits FM Rep Your Jersey. We'll all be there tomorrow from midday all the way until the final whistle. And we are previewing that game very shortly. But let me tell you about a couple of things before we get into the Champions League final preview. The Ghana Football Awards night is here. It's going to be on June 14th at the Palms Convention Center for a night of excitement. That's what it will be. It's the 7th edition. There'll be a lot of glamour and celebration of Ghana's finest football stars. So let's unite the nation once again through football. The Ghana Football Awards is a Football Impact Africa initiative powered by Activate 360 and proudly supported by the Multimedia Group and AE Mediacom. Ghana Football Awards celebrating the stars of our passion. The Impact Makers Award is also happening. That is a Joy News initiative. 10 people who have made extraordinary impact will be celebrated on the 28th of June at the EcoBank headquarters. These heroes and heroines will be awarded for going far and above for others. And of course, this award is in partnership with McDown Foundation, Empowering Futures, Building Communities, and is sponsored by the Center for Strategic Philanthropy and Social Investment of the Pentecost University, unleashing transformational philanthropy, research, and innovation for community impact. Philanthropy Ghana, promoting and elevating philanthropy in Ghana. Goki Properties, transforming the landscape. MNC Group Global, totally reliant. German Ozone Medical Center, alternative therapy, dental wellness and beauty. Latest Foam, your partner for life. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, and EcoBank, of course, the Pan-African Bank. Also, let me tell you about Big Chef Junior Season 4. It's here. You have the chance to vote for your favorite to stay in the competition. You can do that using the short code *711*60#. All right, don't miss a single moment of the heat, the drama, and the flavor is live on Joy Prime. And this is Season 4. Is riveting. Also, let me tell you about Father's Day. With Father's Day just around the corner, it's time to start thinking about ways to celebrate dads and father figures in our lives. Joy FM, Joy Prime, Joy News, and Hits FM proudly present My Father, My Hero, fatherhood a deeper connection. This year, we invite you to step away from the daily grind and celebrate your fathers. Here's what you have to do. Record a 30-second clip commending your father. Tell us the heroic things he's done for you and share with us via our WhatsApp on 055-1111-997. We'll play your clips on air and select top 5 entries to win some amazing prizes from our sponsors. Tune in to Drive Time at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. every day as we embark on this journey. Stay glued to your radios. Don't miss out on this fun, entertaining, yet emotionally impactful mini virtual auditory adventure. So, My Father, My Hero, this Father's Day event, of course, is proudly brought to you by the Multimedia Group. This is Game Plan on 99.7 Joy FM. Is sponsored by Petrosol and Betway. Lots of messages have come through on the Chelsea conversation. Of course, let me take a couple of them and I'll go to the guys. We'll look ahead to tomorrow night's big Champions League final. This message says, hello guys, so this was my message last year in November when the season started. We had our injuries and still managed a final in the League Cup and semis in the FA Cup. We finished ahead of Cranston's United, but somehow you have vim that United will finish in the top 4. And again, those training directly with Chelsea, 28 players. The rest will leave on loan or permanent move. All we've asked for this season is injury-free season for Chelsea. You will see magic this season. I guess Danike has seen the smoothness level. Next season, we just sack that goalkeeper and get a proper goalkeeper in our post, and we are good to go for the big title. Zakatu from London sent us that message. Big Chelsea fan. This one says, how can teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, how can teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Arsenal, Man City win a Conference League trophy when the aim of these teams every season is to at least qualify for the Elite Champions League? People should stop celebrating mediocrity. Nene Nyamete from Dansuman sent that particular message. Nitojo from Tema says, congratulations to all the football teams that won trophies. Liverpool will never walk alone. I guess those congratulations will never touch some people. Good afternoon, Game Plan team. Please tell your colleagues that teams even celebrate when they win Carabao Cup in England. From Smarto at Adenta House and down. Real Betis were bragging before the final that they were able to handle Barca and Real Madrid in La Liga. Now they've seen their smoothness level handed to them by Chelsea Football Club. This one says, so say Chelsea. Say Chelsea, the only club and first to win all 5 of European competitions. Thank you very much. You have stated a fact, and you can't dispute a fact. This one says, good afternoon, guys. Do you believe the game would have been the same if Abdul Hamid did not get injured? Hope in Odumase Krobo. Are you talking about the Betis game? And are you talking about Ezazuli or okay? All right. This one says the posture of Mr. Okroku Keto Okroku, the GFA president, looks intimidating during his interview when he was announced as the second vice president of CAF. Don't you think he made himself available on purpose so as to shame his critics? Which kind of leader will be more concerned about criticism over the work at hand? He should know that even the armed robber is successful in some spells on his operations. Aziz Idigoro inside Tama Community 1 side 10. Aziz, I don't know the motivation behind your message. We haven't discussed Ket today on the show. Citizen Togo in UG says, hi Fen, I think that the second string of the Black Stars showed some good quality in the game against Nigeria 2 days ago. I believe that with proper coaching and time, our team will get good and replicate the achievements of the past. All right, thank you for your message. Guys, 7 p.m. on Saturday, Inter Milan against Paris Saint-Germain. We're all at Aviation, starting from like midday all the way till we have live commentary, 5-a-side, rep your jersey. Everyone come there with your jerseys. It will be a day of fun. But when the when the whistle goes for kickoff, Tichu, where will that game be won?
So many places. But I think putting all together, Inter Milan, I think will win. But it's going to be a compelling game because two teams playing different football. All of them have got their strengths in the way they play. And to be honest, they both deserve to be here. None of them have had an easy path to the final, right? It's not like all of them have had some very tough teams to get through. So, yeah, I think that one of the things Barcelona must be careful of will be Inter Milan's set pieces. They swing some of the
PSG must be careful. Barca no did it.
One of the things that Barca should have been careful of, but yeah, I mean PSG should be careful of, is the Inter Milan set pieces. They swing some of the best out swinging corners or set pieces, right, from crossing positions. It's normally away from the goalkeeper, and PSG are not the best in defending those scenarios. Yeah, somebody would say against Arsenal they didn't suffer any. Yeah, but Arsenal caused them problems with it. But one of the reasons why Donnarumma got a lot of hands on a lot of corners was because Arsenal would always in-swing it. So they'll swing it towards the goalkeeper underneath the crossbar. For Inter Milan, they'll swing it away. We saw how they did it against FC Barcelona. They got 2 goals in that first leg from Dumfries. And PSG will need to be wary. It's a place where Inter, I know for sure, will be paying close attention to. But I think that one of the things that also, again, PSG will struggle to deal with, because of time, I'll talk about what Inter are going to do. I know Danny.
Achu and Danny.
Yes, we'll talk on what PSG can do. So let me just focus on what my Inter can do. Another thing that I think Inter are going to do to cause problems for PSG will be the fact that those 2 strikers combine so well, and also they are able to
ram Lautaro,
to ram the captain Lautaro. And when PSG want to build up from the back, the pressing angles and the starting position of those 2 strikers will be key in having now PSG having to change the way they build up from the back. And again, the aggressive nature of Inter's backline, who are not afraid of stepping high, right, to go with their men, is also going to be crucial, because we've seen Dembele enjoy that free roll false 9 role so well that is able to move and come into the center circle, pick the ball, turn, and all of a sudden the opposition is in trouble. I think with Inter Milan's midfield 3 marking out PSG's midfield 3, Acerbi, or whether it's on Bastoni or whether it's on Bisek, if they start, are comfortable enough to come along with Ousmane Dembele into the center circle if he wants to pick up the ball from there, which means that PSG now have to find another way, because that thing works so well for them. Worked for them against Arsenal, worked for them against Liverpool, works for them in many games that they've played, especially at the turn of the year. So I think that Inter Milan have got answers to that. What Inter would have to do was to find a way of keeping that DiMarco and Bastoni's side tight enough, because Dumfries, when defending alongside Bisek, can be compact enough. But then they must find a way of not getting PSG to keep Dumfries deep, because a lot of the things that will happen in attack for Inter will depend on how high Dumfries can go. So they have to find a way of baiting Nuno Mendes and Kvaratskhelia of drawing out in and then quickly set Dumfries loose. But ultimately, I think the experience and gamesmanship of Inter Milan will be crucial. Winning those 50-50 fouls, winning those delaying tactics, those little fouls that doesn't attract that card to disrupt PSG's game. And in the end, I think Inter, being in the final for the second time in 3 years, are going to win it. That thing about if they play final in Munich, first time team, so no, they talk if Pope die, English club go win. So that thing, it no go up.
Well, what Sicho is referring to is that every single time the Champions League final has been played in Munich, a team has won the trophy for the first time in their history. And that is the start that favors PSG. They've never won the competition.
PSV team, anytime a team scores PSV in the run of in the Champions League
knockout stages.
Yeah, that's it. No, in the Champions League, whether group you win.
Okay.
So PSG knew that secret when they met PSV. They said that drew. They get chance. Bakola get chance over the bar. Dembele get chance. The £2 Doué get chance. You do better like you don't see the ball. And Donnarumma allowed them to score him so that they drew.
Yeah.
Arsenal Petre, they went to score PSV. They're out.
Here's another thing though. The last time a French team was in the Champions League final and it was played in Munich, the French team won the trophy.
That French team had a Ghanaian. Does PSG have a Ghanaian?
That French team was Olympique Marseille in 1993. They also played against an Italian team in Munich. It was AC Milan back then, and they won. Everything pointing to Lucho.
Yeah, some way. See, friends, I think for me, PSG are slight favorites for this game. Why? Because I've seen interface teams that share similar principles with PSG during this season's Champions League. Against Arsenal, against Bayern Munich, against Barcelona. And in all those games, I think Inter have struggled to defend against those teams. Arsenal created tons of chances, they just weren't able to score against Inter. Bayern went to the San Siro. That was the game they played their game. They played their normal Vincent Kompany game. It ended 2-2, a very close game. Barcelona scored 6 goals in 2 games against Inter Milan. Point is, that Inter team, and let me just go before the semi-final, that Inter team had the best defense in the Champions League heading into that semi-final. What most of us expected was for Inter to be able to contain Barcelona and probably nick it. Yet they made it very open. I don't think they made it open. The game it forced them to be open and explore more offensive avenues. They ended up with a 7-6 aggregate win. My point here is the differences between Arsenal, but I think PSG defend much better than Barcelona and Bayern Munich. I don't know about Arsenal, but the way they keep the ball helps them, makes them a better defensive unit than let me say Arsenal. I'm not saying they have better defenders, but the way they take care of the ball will give them that edge. PSG don't play with that high line as Barcelona do. In fact, let me call it a reckless high line as Barcelona do. They know how to manage matches much better than Barcelona. They understand when they are under pressure. They understand when they need to drop a bit deeper. They understand when they need to push high. But I think the key lies in PSG's handling of the ball and how they take care of the ball. They are not always in a hurry to exploit opposition space. They know how to take their time and find that perfect moment. And Cicho has illustrated Inter's game plan brilliantly. But time and time again this season, we've seen the weakness in the partnership between Bastoni and then Di Marco on that left-hand side, the left centre-back and the left wing-back. Now, for me, that's where PSG's strength also lies. Doué will start from there, but Doué is joined by Hakimi. And I don't think that this is the game where we'll see more vertical movements from Dembele. I think we'll see a bit more horizontal. Instead of him dropping deep into the centre circle like what's been doing. Yes, he will operate in between the lines, but I think he'll go and join Desiree Doué on that right-hand side because that's where the threat is. And Dembele's timing of his runs to enter the box, he knows when to leave the center and slot into the box. If he's playing from the right-hand side, he knows when to enter the box. The late runs of Fabian Ruiz from the other side, Kvaratskhelia, who can enter the box. I think that's where the threat will be from that right-hand side. I think PSG will be able to exploit Inter Milan on PSG's right-hand side. And Inter will struggle to create the chances we saw them create against Barcelona because when they have the ball, they will have to take care of the ball much better because there will not always be that direct space to play the pass into for Dumfries to be run. Now, the other thing too is that Dumfries is coming up against a very able opponent in Nuno Mendes. Nuno Mendes can match him for physicality, he can match him for pace. And we've seen him improve.
He can actually beat him for pace.
He can actually beat him for pace. So, Nuno Mendes on that side. And knowing Luis Enrique, he's a sort of manager that will I think he will give Nuno Mendes a bit more attacking responsibility to keep Dumfries deep in his half. Cicho said Inter will have to do something to try not to keep. But the thing is, it's two dangerous offensive men against one. In Kvaratskhelia and then Nuno Mendes. If they are deep in the Inter half, it stops Dumfries from having that freedom to bump up and down. And he will not dare leave them. I don't think in the final, Inzaghi is not that man to take that sort of risk. So I think Inzaghi and Inter Milan will sort of contain and manage the game for as long as possible. But for me, I think PSG has slight favorites. In saying that, so far this season, everybody I have backed to win a major trophy has gone on to lose. So I'm hoping that once again I'll be wrong. I'm genuinely hoping that once again I'll be wrong.
You are backing PSG, but you want to be wrong.
I want to be wrong because you see things are
because of agenda.
There's no agenda.
Because if PSG win, Dembele Ballon d'Or.
But if Inter win, they don't have a standout candidate, so it will push to
Kylian
for World Club. If Kylian win World Club, no agenda.
This guy, you are not correct. I should wrap up for me.
Yeah.
Interesting game. It should be two very tactically astute teams. Inter a crazy stat that I found. The whole season, they've only been behind for 60 minutes. Which means that if you score against Inter, you're never comfortable.
It is, or they are Europe's rapid response units.
Thank you very much for that phrase.
They don't go behind for very long. Look, PSG's best route to creating chances is often from the left. The finish is from the right. But for this game, it has to change. Because, yes, Kvaratskhelia and Nuno Mensch are fantastic.
Nuno Mensch.
But I think Jan Bisek has proven very competent and athletic enough. And in the games where they seemed overwhelmed, I think against Lazio in the second half, I think against Bologna as well, the 2 games against Milan and Juventus, when Inter were able to find solutions there, it was with Barella dropping deeper and tucking into that right side to help accommodate the threats. And I think that's what we're going to see tomorrow. The problem, however, is on the opposite flank. Di Marco, no. He's beyond redemption. His legs are gone. Right. It's not his fault. Look, it's happened in the 2 cup finals. It's happened against Barcelona over 2 legs. I don't think Inter will have a solution yet. There's a solution on the bench, but in Carlos Augusto, but you lose something at the other end.
There's another solution the coach doesn't trust. Zalewski.
Enfa. Every time he's thrown him into the piece, he's been a letdown. It's been a letdown.
That's why it's just
Enfa.
I say that's the guy. But
no, but when he's failed so many times,
he hasn't failed so many times.
Not just okay. Let's say Rafa. We need to Achu.
Yesterday he made a fantastic point about how the alternatives, the substitutes, have not been able to live up to the billing. The final is not the place for that. Look, Inter have one weapon, and I think if they are going to win, one of those goals will come from that, which is set pieces.
Okay.
They scored 32.9% of their total goals in the Serie A from set pieces.
That's a lot.
In the Champions League, 4 out of their last 9 goals have come from set pieces.
Almost half.
Yes. So tomorrow, if Inter are going to win, is a sure banker. One of those goals will come from set pieces.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Achu. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Sicho. It's been wonderful. Michael Nimo says, I should ask you, Danike and Achu, that had Chelsea lost, would you be saying the things that you are saying?
Of course.
If Chelsea had lost.
Of course.
So big shouts to Michael Nimo and Raymond Gakpo. Liverpool fans, celebrate your trophy in peace. And he says the cup is a baller cup. Chelsea can keep it for life if they want. Thank you, guys. I will see all of you tomorrow at the Aviation Social Center. Let's come in there. Wear our jersey. You don't need to wear the jersey of the 2 clubs play. Just wear any
and you
jersey.
You don't need to wear the jersey. Disclaimer of the team you support. It's here by force.
Yes. But if you're a Chelsea fan, you can come and you're allowed to celebrate your trophy and wear your Chelsea jersey and come there tomorrow. We'll see all of you there tomorrow. Of course, the game plan on 99.7 Joy FM, Hits 103.9 FM, sponsored by Betway and Patreon. So up next, of course, is the BBC World Service. My name is Fento. I hear Fento back again next Friday.